Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back. So, welcome to my part 2 of how to gem all the 4 stars. I do have a part 1 as well. I'll include the link in the description below. Basically, in part 1, I talked about all the monsters above, and now we're going to go down the list and keep talking about all the monsters. I think I might need to split this up to 3 parts, and then eventually I'm going to be talking about all the 3 stars, all the nat 5s. I'll probably go 4 star, 5 star, and then I'll talk about the usable 3 stars, not all the 3 stars. The non-usable ones we're just going to kind of skip over. You can gem them any way you want if you really want to use them, but you know, it's just not going to be, it's not really going to be viable for anything. But I'm just going to talk about all the, well, this is also based on my experience and also my opinions of the game, the way I play the game. So I'm going to be talking about all the possible ways you can use this monster, all the possible ways I can think of, and all the possible ways to gem them for each situation. So we're going to start with the Neza first. The Neza is a attack down, defense down monster. Her skills are very, very valuable for Titans because these two are the most important debuffs for Titans. You do actually want to keep this on the Titans at all times. I think attack down is a little bit more valuable because attack down actually helps your team survive. Actually depends on which Titan. Like there's the Dark Titan, which even if you put attack down, he does have a chance to like kill you. So you do actually want to land the defense down and try to burst him as much as possible before your team actually dies. I think that's the general strategy to doing like the Dark Titans. But for many of the other Titans, like the Wood one, for example, you would be using a fire monster against the Wood one. It doesn't do too much damage. Most of its damage actually does come from the sap. So yeah, putting attack down on the Titan will actually significantly reduce its damage, meaning that she is a very, very valuable monster. Attack down is definitely a really, really good skill, and even to use against the Light Dark Titans or the Neutral Titans or the Fire Titans, attack down is also very, very valuable. So you do actually want this skill. It's a very important skill to have against the Titans. With that being said, she's mostly going to be built as a debuffer for Titans. There's actually 2 ways to build monsters for Titans. It depends on which depends on the tankiness of your units beside her. Obviously, you don't want to build a unit too tanky to, you know, basically just keep surviving while its whole team is already dead. Like, if you, for example, you're putting her on a team and the other units on her team are not tank type monsters, they may be balanced, they may be attack type monsters. Gems like, you know, bruiser build, attack, HP, defense. And if you gem her full tank, she's definitely going to survive longer than those monsters. But there's really no point in her surviving that long because all she's going to do is she's going to do a little bit of damage to the Titans. And what's worse is she's actually going to stack with the Titan's blessing, making the Titans stronger when you actually get to the second team or something like that. So I don't think gemming her super, super tanky is actually that effective, depending on your team comp, because obviously you could be running another team that is like just all gemmed like really, really tanky. So if you're going to be gemming her full tank, I would say HP defense is definitely the best build. Obviously Conviction set is also the best set if you can put a set together, because the resistance is actually quite important against a lot of the Titans, especially the Wood one that keeps sapping you. Like that's actually pretty important. Just resistance in general is very, very important in like 90% of the game, but it's like, except for the early game, like the very, very early game, you can actually, you know, you can get by without any resistance. But then once you start getting to the late game, resistance does actually benefit you a lot. So I think Conviction is definitely the best set if you can put a set together for all tank monsters. You can definitely use like Life and Protection set if you can actually put those together as well. She actually has pretty nice HP and attack stats, but unfortunately her defense is actually quite low. Her defense is way, way, way below the, you know, the diminishing return point of defense, which means that if you just boost her defense up by a little bit, it'll actually increase her effective health by quite a lot. So you can gem her HP defense. I still think that is the optimal way to go with, you know, like to make sure she has the highest effective amount of effective HP. If you're running her with like a full tank team, if you're running her with a full bruiser team, you can go with HP attack or HP defense attack. It's not really going to matter too much. It's not. I think the two is not too different. Like because HP has no diminishing return, so as long as you just keep stacking it, she's going to be like pretty tanky. I don't know the exact math because we'll have to like actually go and do the calculation, but just kind of doing my bro math over here. You should gem her. You can gem her HP, defense, attack, HP attack. It would actually not matter too much. She would be pretty much just as tanky either way. And yeah, you basically just want her to survive a few turns. She can actually provide a little bit of damage because she does have like 2.3 or 2300 attack, not 2.3. So yeah, that was actually quite long. We're gonna be talking about the water one as well. The water one is also a Titans monster. Where the heck did she go? I'm not going to spend super long on all monsters, but just some more complicated monsters, I can definitely do that. Now, the water one does have very, very nice skills, but her stat distribution, unfortunately, is a little bit poor. She is also balance type, so actually that makes her pretty okay for running her on a team of bruiser monsters, because you can definitely do attack, HP, defense on her, or you can do double HP defense. You would kind of gem her the same way you would the fire one, because she's also a Titans monster. She's a little bit more defensive. She has a higher chance of attack down. She also has a 70% blind, which is very, very nice for certain Titans. You can use this against the Dark Titan, for example. Blind is definitely very valuable. Blind in general is also very valuable against most Titans. It just is another more defensive debuff that you can stack on top. And if you already have an armor breaker with armor break, like on first skill, for example, Water Shelly, because Water Shelly is also water. If you put that on your team as well, she's also going to be, you don't really need to constantly be using an armor break on second skill either, because you will have someone that is having a 100% armor break or attack or defense down, as some might call it, on first skill, meaning that the chances of the Titan actually having defense down is a lot higher. So you don't need to have another defense down. Instead, you can provide this blind, which further increases the survivability of your team. So I think she's definitely a really nice Titans monster. Unfortunately, her recovery stat is a little bit high, which means her other stats aren't as good. But still, it's still not too bad, I would say, because her her HP, attack, defense is decent. It's a decent amount, and you can gem her multiple ways. You can make her kind of a bruiser. You can make her super tanky if you want. You can go with HP defense. You can go HP attack defense. I still do think Conviction is the best set. Like, the Conviction set is definitely the best. But you can do, depending on your other monsters, if they're mostly like squishier, like if they're also balance type, or if they're attack type monsters that you gen the Bruiser build, which is the HP defense attack. If you gen attack type monsters that way, they're also going to be squishier than her. In most cases, they're gonna be squishier than her, and you can basically just you can gem her with like Valor in that case, or maybe Intuition in that case, if you do have the set. If you don't have any sets, I would not recommend putting a set together. I think substats are actually more important. If the substats of the set is better than the actual set bonus itself, definitely do use the broken set. Like, basically just use 3 random gems and don't put a set together if the substats are actually better. So I would definitely recommend you guys use broken set if you can't put together a set with good enough substats. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The wood one is the wood one usable? She's an attacker with self-sustain and seal. I definitely think this is a very mediocre monster, but she does have some very nice stat distribution. You can use her as a wood nuker if you really want to. A self-sustained wood nuker. She's kind of like the wood Odin in a way, but doesn't have the armor break, doesn't have the defense down. She also has a self-sustaining first skill, HP Siphon. Does it greatly restore, or does it just restore? Alright, she's not going to heal too much with her first skill either, so skill-wise she's kind of bad. Stat-wise she's pretty good. If you want to if you really want to use her early on, you can go, I think attack HP, because you do want her to do some damage in order to self-sustain. She doesn't necessarily need to be that tanky because of her self-sustain skill. So you can definitely go with attack HP, and ideally Valor if you could put the set together, but if you can't, then just go with a broken set. I need some water. That's good. Ooh, I'll actually need to come back and talk about some of these event monsters in a bit, because we're already down the list to all the event monsters. So after the Nezas, I'm actually going to talk about all the light dark monsters without any, like, you know, other 4-star counterparts. I'll also talk a little bit about them as well, but they're mostly like from old events, so they're not as common, and most people that have them already progressed in a lot more progressed in the game. But I'll still talk about them kind of briefly, a little bit less than the way I'm talking about these monsters now. Now this is the Light Neza. She has a blind and sap. I think an 80% 3-turn blind is definitely pretty nice for Titans, but unfortunately the sap is not really useful on Titans. The sap doesn't do a lot of damage against Titans, so it's she's kind of a awkward monster. But I do actually see a very good use of her. You can gem her for Titans, basically going with full tank build, like, you know, HP defense. That's probably the best way, because her attack is so low that even if you put an attack gem on her, she's not really going to do too much damage. You could still put an attack gem on her if you're putting her with a more of a, you know, bruisery team instead of a tank team, but I would actually recommend you put her with other, like, really tanky units. This way it just it's all situational. Like, it depends on the other units of your team, the way you would gem her. But it's either the HP defense attack or the HP attack, or HP defense, if you want to use her for Titans and stuff. But I actually see a very good use of her. Another really good use of her. You can actually use her to solo tank golems if your other units are, like, you know, you have other very strong units. You can actually use her to solo tank in Golden Speed 10, because she is a light type monster, and she's also very tanky if you look at her stats. I would go with HP defense. In this case, I wouldn't worry too much about resistance. I would try to put her on either the life set or the protection set. I think life set might be better, because your defense is already past the point of you know, it's starting to have diminishing returns. If you put a actual defense gem, it'll be over 3k. But I think HP defense on a life set would make her really tanky, and then you can use her as a solo tank, and she can also sap the boss with her second skill, so that'll actually be pretty nice. But yeah, that's kind of theoretical. I don't really have her. I can't really test it out. But if you guys have one of her, you can definitely message me, and I can try her out in Golden Speed 10 with some of my other units as well. Now this Dark Neza is a monster very similar to the Wood Odin, and she actually has a stronger skill set, because she has a skill that greatly restores, and she also has the same you know, percentage of defense down as a Nat 5 as the Wood Odin, and she has very nice stat distribution. You know, HP defense is kind of low, but she has very high attack, meaning that she will be able to recover with her first skill quite a lot. She's mostly a nuker monster. You can use her as your nuker for Golem Speed 10. She can self-sustain. You can use her for farming in you know, the third continent if you're farming Skyfalls or Slumbering City. She's also very good for that. Self-sustaining nukers are definitely really nice for farming that. The other really good thing about her is she is dark, so she is she's going to be able to you know, have 100% crit damage. So since she is dark, I would definitely gem her with a crit rate slot. She is a dark type nuker. The most ideal way would be to put her on Ruin with crit rate double attack. If you can't get your crit rate up too high, like not over 90% with your substats, then I would put her on either Valor or Intuition to boost her crit rate up a little bit. So the easiest way would be to gem her with attack, crit rate, intuition, and then a step above that is the Valor, and then a step above that is Ruin. You can also gem her Conviction if you want to give her a little bit of resistance, because some of the mobs in Slumbering City have some pretty annoying debuffs, but I really wouldn't sacrifice her damage just for that. And since she's mostly going to be used for PvP, or not PvE, PvE farming, resistance isn't too much of an issue on her. You can also use her in arena offense, and in that case I would actually gem her with a little bit of resistance if you can, but I would still make her mostly focus on her attack, so either crit rate, crit damage, or more attack. Alright, let's very briefly go through all the light dark monsters that were, you know, kind of event monsters. I'll actually talk a little bit about them. This is a defense aggressor. You would gem her the same way as Light Nike. There really is no other way, just triple defense. If you can, protection. There's a lot of sets that really go triple defense. You can go with protection. If you want a little bit higher effective HP, you can go with life set as well. But it basically you just have to happen to have those gems. Or you can go intuition, although protection is still better, because although I think it doesn't have as high DPS as intuition, it still gives you higher effective HP. It makes you tankier. So I think definitely protection set is the most recommended. You can go with conviction for resistance as well for PvP, and yeah, just basically triple defense on whatever set that you have that makes it work. This monster is kind of mediocre in my opinion. He's mostly a tank monster. You can kind of use him on arena defense if you really want to. He has, I would say, decent stat distribution. I wouldn't say the best, but it's not too bad. You can go with, I think since he's mostly defense, although his HP is not too low, you can go with HP defense, since this is going to start having a diminishing return if you stack too much defense. So HP defense, or yeah, just HP defense. Like I would not put an attack gen. He's just getting a one shot by like whatever Gatito they bring in if you do that. And I would say he's a mediocre monster for arena defense. Like he's not too good, but he's not exactly like horrible either. He's definitely viable, but there are a lot better monsters that fill this role. So this is the Light Gemini. She's a passive healer. There really is only one way to gem her. The best way to gem her is just give her as much HP as possible. So you just throw her on a life set with triple HP and with as much HP like flat substats as possible, and just make her HP pool like as high as you possibly can, and she'll be healing a lot. And that's pretty much it. This is an HP aggressor, same thing, just stack HP, like just lots and lots of HP, just stack it like mad, and he'll do a lot of damage. He'll also be relatively tanky. Really not much to say about this. It's just the same way you would gem, you know, a defense aggressor, but instead you would put HP instead. This is he's an okay Titans monster. He's actually not too bad, but he's also very hard to gem because he needs Hunter on first skill, and his second skill also requires crit. So first of all, you will need a square slot. Second of all, you will need to push his crit to near 100% for him to be effective, or even just push to 100%. I would say, like, I am a big advocate of the 100% crit to make things reliable. You really don't want him like not critting and not landing the blind and just fucking your team up. So definitely do have him on 100% crit. You can go with crit rate. Oh, this is hard. I think if you're going for Titans, I think crit rate HP defense is still. He will have to be gemmed that way, or else he's just gonna die. If you're running him on a lot of like other nukers beside him, you can definitely go with HP crit rate attack as well. That also works. So it's also very situational. As for sets, you know, Conviction, Intuition, they kind of all work because he's like more of a hybrid monster. So you can literally put him on almost any set besides the recovery one, and it'll be pretty effective. So this is the Light Venus. She is a self-heal plus shield. There really is only one way to gem her. You just stack HP to make her shield as thick as possible because it's dependent on her max HP. So you basically go with triple HP life. That is definitely the best set, but you can definitely go with Conviction. You can go with protection as well. That if you go with protection, actually might increase her effective HP a little bit as well. So that's definitely viable, depending on if you want to use her for anything. But I think she's a very tanky monster just with her base stats. Like even if you just only stack HP on her, she can already like solo tank B10 no problem, since she has that nice self heal. So I would say like best build is still just as much HP as humanly possible. I guess since these two are here as well, I'll talk about the Medusa, the Monas, and the Jill as well. So the Medusa is a monster that I use quite a lot for Dragon's B10 because of her 100% stun and elemental edge. She's a very nice nuker, but her crit is her two skills are based off of crit. The fortunate thing is she's also a light monster, meaning she starts with 20% base crit. So you can definitely go with, if you want to build her, there's two ways to build her really. You can go with full glass cannon, which is crit rate double attack, or you can go with the hybrid build, which is, you know, crit rate attack HP to make her a little bit tankier. I think for dragons, you definitely do want the glass cannon build because she's never going to get focused. She's mostly for dragons B10. You can kind of use her on arena offense as well. In that case, you can put an HP gem on her, but she kind of is not that good for arena offense. She's definitely a very good, like, top tier monster for farming Dragons B10. I use her on my team for Dragons B10, so she's a really nice monster because of her 100% CC. I think crit rate double attack is definitely best. Ruin is definitely the best set if you can put her, since she is going to be, you know, you're going to be aiming for 100% crit rate anyways, so Ruin is definitely the best set. You can go with Intuition if you can't boost her crit rate up. Valor is also another good set, kind of in between. If you can put together 100% crit rate on Valor, that's also very effective. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think you need to really worry about her resistance too much. Light Mona, this is she's kind of a bad monster. She needs crit rate on this skill, so her self heal relies on crit rate. She has really weird stat distributions because attack is wasted on an aggressor, and her defense, she's a defense aggressor with her defense not being too high. So basically, like, she's a very gimped monster. Like this monster is just completely, just because of the way mechanics work in the game, how attack doesn't contribute to aggression, like aggressors at all, that she's kind of gimped because of her high attack. So like, it's just because of the way the mechanics of this game works, she's a very gimped monster. I wouldn't say she's really viable. I tried to raise two of her to do something in B10, but it failed miserably. I would say she's not really a monster worth building, but if you really want to build her, I think crit rate double defense is still the optimal build. Yeah, crit rate double defense is still, I think still probably the best build. This is Light Snowy. She's a self-healing monster with two of her skills. Basically, she heals her allies with her nuke, and she also heals herself with her nuke on her first skill. So she's a nuker slash healer. You can actually use her as your main healer on your team, and she's also nuking at the same time. So she's a very nice monster for speedruns because she can serve the healer role as well as a nuker role at the same time. She can basically do damage as well as heal, you know, just with her 5-star skill. She's let me think. There's three ways to gem her. You can, if you're kind of using her as a nuker, it's not going to be viable for B10, but you can go with triple attack or like crit rate double attack Ruin. That actually works for like a full glass cannon build. If you're using her for, I don't know, like arena offense or something like that, or I mean like PvP offense, you can definitely do that. I think a more popular build is the HP double attack. That also is very good on her. The HP is to make sure she survives if you put her into Golem's B10. This is mostly for people running like a full light team for Golem's B10. There's also the HP defense attack build, and this is for if you're running like, you know, just like 2 units, for example. If you're running her and like light Nike for Golem's B10, that also works. You can the HP plus defense gem will make sure she's survivable. Even if she gets hit by a lot of the monsters, she will still be able to survive. Her heal won't be as effective, but it still will be enough to heal like most of your team to like for half their HP bar anyways, or over half their HP bar, even with just one attack gem. So she has a very nice heal, very nice monster. Basically, that's the 3 ways to build her. If you're going with the double attack HP, you can either go, I think Intuition or Valor would work with that build. If you're going with the HP attack defense, it's completely situational. You can put her on life, you can put her on I think if you put her on a life set or a protection set, in that case she actually is more effective, because even if she gets focused, she won't necessarily die, and it'll make your runs a lot more stable. Is that it for all the event monsters? Alright, we're going down. This is the Light Todora. He is a morale boost sapper. I was thinking he might be usable for Golem's B10 if you're running a full light team, and he can serve as your sapper because he has a morale boost and sap. He's also balance type, so I would say to make sure he survives, definitely put an HP gem on her. You can go with or him. You can go with HP double attack. You can go with HP defense attack depending on your allies. If your allies are mostly like tanky aggressors, and won't necessarily be able to nuke really hard and take out the enemies super fast, then he will need a little bit more survivability. So either HP double attack or HP attack defense, and he's going to be able to serve as your sapper for Golem's B10 if you're running like a full light team. I think that's kind of the only way he's viable. The Light July is a nuker monster. She can also be used for a full light B10 team. She's very squishy, but she also has very high base attack. So I actually tried her before, and she was dealing an okay amount of damage when I went with HP defense crit rate. She's also crit reliant because both her skills required her to crit. But you can basically go with, like, if you can get to 100% crit on a set and try to boost her base attack higher, like put her on a Valor set with some nice attack substats, and also some crit substats to make sure she reaches 100% crit. She's very hard to gem, like, because if you're using her for B10, she needs to be tanky enough. She also needs to be she needs to have a little bit of attack, so she's actually effective, and she needs 100% crit. So she's actually a very hard monster to gem, but definitely a viable one, because her stat distribution, none of it went to recovery. Although she's really squishy, her attack is very high at the same time. You could go with HP attack defense build if you have her on a leech set. That also works as well. I was thinking of doing that with her, but I kind of don't really need her for B10. But if you're running like a full light Golem's B10 team, then she's definitely viable. She's definitely usable in that way. Are we done with the event ones? This guy is I think the only reason you would use him is for TOC level 55. You can gem him. I don't think he needs to be that tanky for that floor. You can go with HP attack defense or HP attack. Just give him a little bit of attack because he really doesn't need to be that tanky for that floor anyways. And he's got double HP, so or you can, yeah, HP attack. HP attack because of his HP aggression. Yeah, HP attack is definitely. Actually, no. Well, the thing with the attack is attack makes his first skill good, but it doesn't make his second skill good. But you're going to be spamming the first skill a lot more than his second skill on 455, and that's my theory behind putting attack gem on him, because you're not really going to be using the skill too much. You're only going to be using the skill against the mobs of the level. Against the boss, you're going to be spamming the skill non-stop. But then again, attack doesn't do anything against the boss of 55. So yeah, I was wrong about that. Just go with triple HP. Just triple HP. Just triple HP is the best build. My bad about that. He should just, yeah, he should just go triple HP. I forgot that you don't actually do any damage to the boss anyways. So yeah, just go triple HP. Are we done with event monsters? Yeah, I think those are those are all the rebirth and event monsters. Actually, there's 2 more. There's 3 more actually. 3 more over here. Light Seastar is a... She has stun attack down. She's a okay, I would say like low tier monster for arena defense. She's definitely quite annoying with these 2 skills. She's also light, so she'll try to stun the dark attackers that attack. So if someone's trying to bring in like a dark Gatito, that will actually work. But you know, there are definitely better monsters than her for that. Like if you have like a light Thor or something, that's like just so much better than running this light Seastar, because she really has no threat at all. She's just kind of there to be annoying. I think some people can use her for Dragon's B10 for the 100% stun. If you're building her for Dragon's B10, even though she's a tank type monster, she's not going to get focus at all for Dragon's B10. And she also needs 100% crit, so you do need that crit rate gem on her to make her skills activate, because she needs crit for her skills to activate. So you can go with crit rate. If you're using it for dragons, I would still just build full attack, because she's never going to get hit anyways. So I would go with crit rate double attack. If you're using her for defense, you can go with crit rate HP. I think I would still put a defense gem on her because of how low her defense actually is. It can actually boost it to the effective HP range, or near the effective HP range. Or if you have like very nice defense substats, like a 20% defense substat on some of your gems, then you can go with HP crit rate as well. That'll actually make her effective HP higher, because she actually has a very high HP pool. So and HP has no diminishing return. So if you stack it really high, it just makes her like super tanky. So that actually works as well. The Light Hunter is also another event monster. He has shock and HP siphon. He's an okay monster to leave on arena defense, but he's also an attacker, meaning that he'll get hit, he'll get melted in 1 turn basically if you gem him with any attack. If you're using him on defense, like I think the Thor is just infinitely better. But if you really only have him and you're trying to use him on defense, you can go with yeah, you can just go with full tanky build, like just HP defense. If you're using him on attack or offense, arena offense, you can go with HP double attack, or you can go with triple attack or crit rate double attack. If you have like a ruin set, intuition, valor sets, conviction also works as well, because he's mostly for PvP. So resistance is definitely really important on either defense or offense. It's more important on defense as well. So those sets are definitely really nice on him. Lots of talking in this video. So this is the light Jack. She's a very old monster from like kind of when I started playing the game. She has a morale boost and a hunter. Her morale boost is reliant on crit. Her hunter is also reliant on crit, so she definitely does need that crit gem. Fortunately, she is light, so it's very easy to get 100% crit on her. You can go with yeah, just crit rate double attack, crit rate HP attack. If you want to use her on offense or like PvP offense, you can put an HP gem on her to make sure she survives a little bit better. But you can even go full glass cannon build. I think full glass cannon build is definitely the best on her. She's a very nice morale boost monster, meaning she's very nice for farming. So if you have her on a crit rate, you know, full crit siphon set, she'll be very good for that as well. So you can basically go with crit rate double attack or crit rate HP attack on intuition, ruin. Ruin's definitely the best. Siphon's also really good if you can get a siphon set on her. She'll be a very effective farmer. Alright, let's talk about all the dark versions of all the monsters I talked about before. Wait, did I talk about the Phibians? Yes, I did. I did talk about the Phibians. This guy doesn't exist in the game. Oh yeah, Dark Mari. For those that actually did buy her and have her. She's very, very similar to the Dark Mona, but she has a Battle Rush, meaning that she also has a self-sustaining first skill, which actually makes her very, very good for arena offense, because this makes her very, very hard to kill. The other thing is, the Battle Rush, because of the self-heal, makes her really, really good for farming stages beyond the, third continent stages. Because those monsters actually hit really, really hard, and if you want to build a monster full nuke for farming those stages, having a little bit of self-sustain is very, very nice, as I mentioned before when I was talking about some of the other when I was talking about the Dark Neza. Having self-sustain on your nukers is very, very nice in order to help you survive against the really, really high level mobs that won't necessarily focus anyone because she's dark. So unless you have like an element that's like disadvantaged, they might focus her instead. So having a little bit of self-heal makes her less likely to die in those cases. Let me see. She's got very nice stats as well, and she's got a Battle Rush Predator. If you have a square slot on her, I would definitely still put crit, because she is a dark type monster with that base 100% crit rate or crit damage. So if you put a crit rate gem on her, it will just effectively increase her health. For farming monsters, as I mentioned before in the previous video, I think it's very, very nice to have 100% crit on farming monsters to make sure they do the same amount of reliable damage always. So I definitely do recommend 100% crit if you can. And ideally Ruin. Siphon is also very good. She's definitely a very good Siphon monster to use for farming because of the Battle Rush and the Predator. You can also go with Intuition to boost her crit rate up to 100% if you can't do that. And Valor also works as well. So basically, like, offensive stats are the best on her. The Dark Phibian is a nice hybrid healer. He's also got Battle Rush and Adrenaline. He's also Balance type. He's got very, very nice stat distribution, by the way. He's got no recovery, and everything else is like super, super balanced. There's actually three ways to build him. You can go full nuke, which is crit rate, double attack. This will help you clear waves faster. I think the best use of him is to use as your main healer for Golem Speed 10. The problem with this is if you don't have a lot of sappers, like really strong sappers on your team, like Fire Persephone or something, then the boss you won't be able to kill the boss as fast, and it'll actually be very dangerous when the side units die, and he's only going to be healing 10% with this skill when he hits the boss, instead of 30% when he's also hitting the two side units. So another way to make him a little bit more stable is to go with the HP crit rate attack build on him, and then this will actually make it so he's able to heal a little bit, because the Adrenaline is based off of his own max HP. So the higher his HP, the more the heal. And the way to build him full support is to go with HP crit rate, and you do want the crit rate because his Battle Rush is reliant on crit rate. He's also dark, meaning that the crit damage, base 100% crit damage, you can take advantage of that if you put a crit rate gem on him. So that's kind of the three ways to build him. I actually do recommend the hybrid build. I think that's actually a pretty nice build to go with HP crit rate attack for Golem Speed 10. It will actually work for most teams, but depending on your team comp, you can either go with double attack crit or double HP crit as well. This is a Dark Gemini. She is mostly used for, I think, arena offense. A lot of people use her for arena offense on a full Dark team because she has a nice SP siphon to make sure, like, if they're running like morale boosters, you can actually siphon their morale boost away, and this is non-resistible, meaning that you can actually keep a guy from using their active skill like pretty much all the time, as long as you have her on your team. So that's actually a very, very nice thing to have for your team. She also has 100% sleep when she crits, and everything with her is reliant on crit as well, so you definitely do want the crit rate gem on her. She's mostly utility, but you can also put damage on her. I think most people are going with HP crit rate attack on her, like a hybrid build, to try to make sure she survives, as well as provide utility, and can also provide a little bit of damage because she does have that nice 100% base crit as a dark monster, and has 100% crit rate. Like, you would want to gem her 100% crit rate to make sure her skills are reliable. So as always, pretty much Conviction is very good because she's, you know, mostly used for PvP. If you can put 100% crit rate on a Conviction set, that's actually very nice. If you can't, Intuition to boost her crit rate up is definitely viable. Valor is also usable. Ruin is also very good. You can also build her full attack if you want. You can go with attack HP, but her base attack is actually a little bit low. So I think having 1 HP gem might actually be a little bit more effective on her. So you can go with Ruin as well if you can spare 100% crit rate Ruin set on her, but I really would not, because it's hard to put together a 100% crit rate Ruin set, so I really would not like waste it on her. She's not a top tier arena monster, but she's pretty good. She's pretty good. The Dark Koko is a Titans mon. He's very similar to the Water Neza. You know, attack down and blind. The good thing about him is he has skill books, so his skills are upgradable. And the Koko skill books are the most common ones, so you can get a lot of Koko skill books to skill him up if you have the money to do so. If you're super rich. He also has very nice stat distribution. There's multiple ways you can build him for Titans. As always, you can go with the Bruiser build, you know, the HP crit rate, or not HP, HP attack defense, if you have nice crit rate substats. His skills are not reliant on crit, but he is a dark monster, so if you have any sort of crit rate substats, it actually increases his damage potential quite a lot. So if you can get some crit rate substats on him, it'll be very nice. So if you want to go with put any sort of attack gem on him, you do actually ideally want the crit rate substat. Intuition is also a very nice set to put on this monster because of how he's dark. So you don't necessarily want to waste a full crit rate gem on him. So you can go with HP attack defense on Intuition. Conviction, as always, is still very nice because he also doesn't have any resistance since he is dark. So if you can boost his resistance up, it's also very nice against most Titans. He's also dark, so he's basically usable against all Titans. That's also another advantage that he has. And yeah, he also has a nice leader skill, attack leader skill only for dark monsters. So that's actually not too bad. It's also usable in Titans. But yeah, you can, if you're using him on a full tank team, you can go with double HP defense as well. He's also buildable as a nuker, like a straight out nuker. If you're putting him on a full nuke team, you can definitely go with the crit rate attack HP. That actually does increase his damage potential quite a lot if you do decide to put him on like a full nuke team with other dark nukers. And he also has that nice you know, attacks leader skill for dark monsters. So that's actually really nice. The Dark Monk Kiki is a defender. Unfortunately, he doesn't have an AoE skill. This skill is single target, so he only has a single target defense down. But he does have a nice aggression. He has pretty nice stat distribution for an aggressor. Not a lot of attack. A little high on the recovery, but not too bad. He doesn't have that much HP, but he has very high defense, higher than Dark Seastar. So on his first skill, he's actually going to be doing quite a bit of damage. He's kind of usable in Golem's B10 to kind of armor break the boss, and he's also an aggressor, so he's able to, you know, deal damage against the wave just by building him full tanky. I think crit rate double defense is definitely the best for this monster. And you know, you can go Intuition, Ruin's the best set. Protection is also very nice because he is a defense aggressor. But yeah, I think that those are most of the sets that are good on him. Now this is Dark Venus. She's actually quite nice for some teams. Some people actually use her for Dragon's B10. She's very good for Titans because she has attack down. She also has attack up, and she's also a healer. The good thing about the Venus is that they have this very unique AI where if they have their bars full, they will always use their active skill, which is actually really nice. So she's a very nice healer for Titans. You can go with HP defense if you're putting her on a full tank team. If you're putting her on some attack teams, you can even put a recovery gem on her. That actually does work as well. But I don't keep any of my recovery gems, and I don't think it's really that, like, it makes that much of a difference either. But it's also situational. Like, it's possible, like, because you don't need to make her that tanky, and since she's already kind of tanky by herself. You could fit a recovery gem on her, but you know, I'm too lazy to keep any of my recovery gems, so you can gem her HP defense. Conviction is definitely still the best set to make sure she doesn't get any weird annoying debuffs on her. She's also usable against all the elements of Titans since she is dark. This is another dark monster. She's basically the exact same as the dark Koko, but in reverse, and she's mostly tanky, has no attack substats, so she's better on a full tank team if you're using her with like other monsters that are built full tanky. You can go with HP defense is probably still the best on her. Conviction, I would say, is still the best set because she is a dark monster. She has no base resist, so you definitely do want some resist on her. The Dark Mona is like the waifu I'll never have basically. Yeah, she was a rebirth monster a while ago. She's a morale boost hunter monster that's relying on crit. She's basically the dark version of the Light Jack, and since she's dark, she does start with 100% base crit damage, so she's very nice. She's very nice, very high attack. Basically all her stats, most of her stats went to attack. She has a little bit of HP, not too much defense, but it doesn't matter. She has multiple uses. You can use her in Dragon Speed 10. You can use her in Arena Offense. You can use her for farming. You can use her for like multiple like farming scenarios. You can use her for golems. You can use her for story map farming. She's just a very good nuker all around. One of the best. And she's definitely a top tier monster. She basically, you want to go with crit rate double attack on Ruin if you can, but you know, with all attacker monsters you can go with Intuition, you can go with Valor. She's also a very nice monster to put on Siphon if you have a Siphon set on her to boost her like with a high enough crit rate that she basically gets, you know, she always crits. You can pair her up with a crit leader as well if you don't have enough crit rate. Yeah, just a very nice monster all around. You can go double attack crit, you can go HP attack crit, but I think that actually wastes her potential. I would use her like 90% of the time. I would put her on double attack crit rate on any of the offensive sets if I can. This is the Dark Snowy. She is an attack down stun. I think the attack down is kind of okay for using against golems. The stun is kind of weird, kind of awkward. It doesn't really work. I mean, not golems. Titans doesn't really work against Titans. She has no real, like, her stat distribution is not too bad, but she has no real practical use in the game. I don't think. Like, this monster is really awkward as well. But if I were to gem her, you can go with the Bruiser build, obviously, because she has very balanced stats. You know, HP, defense, attack. You can go with HP defense. That also works as well. You can even build her attack crit rate. Yeah, you can go with attack crit rate HP for, like, you know, hybrid attacker build, or you can go with like straight full out glass cannon build, which is like double attack crit rate. You know, that also works for dark monsters, obviously, because, you know, dark monsters have that crit damage. So Dark Toad, he's also an awkward monster. Attack down in Sap. I think he's kind of reminds me of the Light Neza, who has blind in Sap. You know, attack down is good for Titans. Sap is not good for Titans. I think he can also be using Golem Speed 10 as your Sapper, but he's also Defender type, which is not too good, because if you want to use a dark monster for sapping in B10 and you're using like a light tank, you do want to build him full attack. So if you're using him for sapping for B10, you can go with double attack crit rate, or you can go with, or if you just want to use him as a sapper in general, and you don't have any like light tanks in B10, you can go with crit rate HP defense for a little bit of damage, because to take advantage of his crit damage, and he doesn't have really high attack, so putting an attack gem on him will not be that effective. Putting the crit rate gem on him will actually make his DPS a little bit higher. You can go with HP defense if you're running like a full tank team, but I don't really see any. I don't see too many practical uses of this monster either. So yeah, but yeah, those are some theoretical builds, because they really don't have much practical use. This is a aggressor plus passive healer. She's definitely one of my favorite monsters in the past, because she's definitely helped me progress a lot. She basically was like my saving grace, helped me progress through the game so much, because of her passive heal. Her heal is based off her own HP. Aggression is also based off her own HP. So if you guys have been watching before, then you guys know that, you know, the really the only way to gem her is on a triple HP life set with as much HP substats as possible. Just stack that HP. The other really cool thing about her is, since she's a dark monster with aggression, HP aggression, any crit rate subs that you have on her will actually make her DPS a lot higher, because of the, you know, because how she's an HP aggressor, and how the crit damage, you know, the 100% crit damage scales with this skill. And so if you have any sort of crit, like a little bit of crit, then she'll actually be able to dish out a little bit of damage. You can actually use her as a semi-nuker as well, if you put like a crit rate double HP gem and boost the crit rate to like 100%. If you have like a really sick life set with like a lot of crit subs, or if you have an intuition set, actually life set with a lot of crit subs is definitely better, because that's actually more effective. Because if you use an intuition set with HP, the only real way to increase her HP is with HP flat substats, and her HP is already relatively high. So basically, if you get a life set like a crit rate double HP life with a lot of crit rate subs, she actually might be able to dish out a little bit of damage as well as heal. Dark Gatito, definitely top tier monster. Very nice. Like probably the, well, I wouldn't say he's no longer the strongest single target nuker. That role has been taken by this guy. But he's very close. He's very close to being the strongest single target nuker. Yeah, he just melts anything. He literally, like, if you get his active up, he like pretty much one shots almost anything. Dang it, where did he go? Yeah, he's got a lot of damage. He's basically Morale Boost Hunter, and his Hunter is on a single target skill, and he's also dark. And it's also a 50% Hunter, so he basically just like, he just straight out melts anything that he uses his active on. It just basically one-shots it, and end of story, basically. So he's very good for dragons. He's very good for arena offense. There's two ways to build him. You can go with HP attack crit rate, you know, the hybrid build. You can also go with a full glass cannon, which is the way I build my Gatitos. Crit rate double attack, and ideally on Ruin if you can. Like, he's a very nice monster to put on Ruin. If you put him on Ruin, he's just like, it just takes him up one more notch, basically, if you can put him on Ruin. But yeah, very nice monster, very excellent monster to build. Basically, give him as much, like, give him 100% crit, give him as much attack and crit damage as you possibly can, and he'll do work, basically. Dang, I didn't talk about the Mihos. Alright, we'll talk about the Mihos in the next video, if I remember. Dark Seastar is a aggressor, but she's also a dark defense aggressor. So there's actually two ways to build her. You can build her with triple defense, or you can build her with crit rate double defense. The crit rate double defense, because of the crit damage, actually gives her higher DPS, but it also makes her a little bit squishier than if you're using triple defense, because triple defense, the defense sub not only increases her attack damage, but also increases her survivability, because she has higher defense, more damage mitigation. If you're going with triple defense, I would actually try to put as much crit rate subs as I possibly can, to make her, like, you know, to make sure she actually does crit, to take advantage of her base 100% crit damage. You can also go with, you know, protection set if you want. Intuition also works. Ruin is still the highest DPS, but not the highest effective HP. Life set also works as well if you want higher effective HP, because her base HP is actually pretty nice as well, but you don't want to really waste the whole main stat on HP, because there really is no point. You want her to do damage as well as be tanky. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Dark Seastar. I think crit rate double HP is still recommended, because there's a diminishing return for defense. So even if you put one more defense gem on her, it's not necessarily going to make her that much tankier. But it's all situational. It kind of depends on your gems, really. Dark Hunter is stun sap. This monster is like, I used to use him in arena offense when I was super low tier, but I'm gonna be perfectly honest, he has no practical use in the game. Like, this monster literally has no practical use. He has a single target sap, which just makes him really not that good. Stat distribution wise, he's actually very, very nice. He has nice HP, nice defense, nice attack. You can gem him with crit rate HP attack, double attack crit rate, HP attack defense, or HP crit rate defense. That also works as well, depending on your substats. And pretty much every single set on him works as well, but like, this is all theoretical because he has no practical use in the game. Like, I can't think of a place where you would use him and he would be like highly effective. This is Dark Jack. She's also a passive healer. She has sap, and she has very, very nice HP subs. So she has much higher HP than the Dark July. You're basically going to be using her for her passive heal, so definitely go with triple HP. If possible, Gem of Life, like life set, to boost her HP even more with as much flat HP substats as possible. Just basically get her HP as high as humanly possible, and she'll be very good. Alright, that's pretty much it for all the event monsters. I think I missed two. I missed the Miho, right? The Miho is also a rebirth monster. Rebirth/event monster. Light Miho is a taunt monster. I think she's pretty good for Colossus because she has taunt and attack down. But Colossus currently is not really worth doing at the moment. So it's a little bit sad. I would actually gem her full tank because she's also constantly gonna be getting hit because of her taunt skill. So I would go with double HP defense. Conviction set is definitely the best because, you know, she is light, so no resistance. You definitely do want to boost her resistance up a little bit more. But all the defensive sets do actually work on her. The Dark Miho is one of my favorite monsters. I actually built 3 of her. She has double aggression, double HP aggression. In theory, she's very, very similar to the Dark Seastar, but, you know, with HP. You can go with triple HP, you can go with crit rate double HP. I build most of my crit rate double HP, but triple HP actually is more effective on her because HP has no diminishing return. So if you just keep stacking it, she's just going to be really, really tanky. And so if you have good enough substats, I think triple HP is definitely the best build for Dark Mihos. She's also stronger late game because I think HP aggression, since HP has no diminishing return, if you're able to stack it really, really high, then you know, that's actually a stronger late game build than if you're using another, if you're using like a defense aggressor, for example. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for all the event monsters. I'll go over one more monster, and then we'll continue this series in the next video. All right. So this is the Yaksha, the Fire Yaksha. She is very, very similar to the Koko and the Neza. Yes, the Water Neza. She has 80% attack down, but only a 50% blind. But her blind lasts for 3 turns, so she's still a very, very effective Titans monster. She's a defender type with very nice stat distribution. She has very, very nice stat distribution. Like, this is perfect. You know, defense just at the optimal range. Not too high over the range of diminishing return, and HP is at 30k, so this is also a nice amount of HP. A little bit of attack, so it gives you the option of putting an attack gem on her to make her usable. So there's the bruiser build, HP defense attack. You can go with HP defense if you're using her mostly on a tank team. You can go with, I think that's it. Yeah, just those 2 builds. Conviction's still the best set if you can, because she's mostly a debuffer. You don't want her to, you know, get random shit put on her. Yeah, Conviction is definitely the best. Definitely Conviction. You can go with Valor. You can go with Life. You can go with Protection as well. That also works. The Water Yaksha is actually a decent nuker because of her double stalker. There's not too many good 4-star nukers as Water, so she's actually has 2 offensive skills as her second skill, so she's actually not too bad. Double stalker and high attack, nice stat distribution for an attacker. You can go with HP double attack. You can go with HP defense attack. You can go with full glass cannon. You can go with triple attack, or if you have a ruin set, you can go with crit rate double attack as well. That also works. Yeah, on all the offensive stats, Valor, Intuition, Ruin, those are probably the best. Conviction also works as well. I think you can use her for nuking a lot of things. Speed farming B8, for arena offense if you really want to. She also works as well because she is a nice nuker. You can throw into your Titan teams because she also does some nice damage there as well. But yeah, there's not too bad of a monster. The Wood Yaksha I actually think is very, very strong in Dragon's B10, since she is a 100% CC monster, and she also has Hunter on her second skill. Basically, you need to have 100% crit rate on her. I would build her full glass cannon if I'm using her for dragons, because she's never going to get focused, because she's wood and the other monsters are light, and if you have any dark monsters, she's never going to get hit, unless it's the boss stage. But once it's the boss stage, it doesn't really matter because the boss will one-shot anybody anyways. So HP and defense is actually very nice. Like she has a nice base, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is her attack if you're using her for like Dragon's B10. Basically, since you need the 100% crit, so crit rate double attack is definitely the best. If you can put her on Ruin, that would be ideal. If not, Intuition, and if not that, Valor. Or you can just, use a broken set. Basically, 100% crit. If you can reach that, then it's actually very, very nice. The Light Yaksha is a very nice nuker as well. She's got a 70% 3-turn defense down, and also a Predator on her skill. This actually makes her pretty nice for Titans. If you're building her for Titans, you can go with HP. You can go with HP double attack on a nuke team, and she's gonna die sooner. She also has defense down, which is not too bad. But I think you would put on the right side if she has defense down. You could also have another defense downer, and then put her on the left side, or not right side. You would usually put defense downers on the left side. If you also have another like dedicated defense down monster. You can actually put her on the right side and treat her as a nuker, but she can also provide a defense down at the same time to make your defense downs land a little bit more, make things more reliable. So she actually has that purpose as well. Predator is definitely really nice, really good skill. She's good for farming all around. You can also use her for golems. If you're using her like a full light team for golems, you can go with HP double attack as well. You can go with HP crit rate attack if you have a ruin set. You can go with double attack crit rate if you have a ruin set as well, or triple attack if you're using her for like arena offense. That also does work. She has a lot of practical uses, this monster. Like, there's a lot of ways you can build her for different situations. But I think with me explaining all the ways to build monsters for different situations, I think you guys kind of get more of an idea now. Alright, the last monster for this video, before I end it, it's a little bit past an hour. This is the Dark Yaksha. Yeah, I actually do have this monster as well. If you guys see like none of the things glowing up, I'm actually doing this account review on my ult, that's why. She's got a very unique adrenaline skill that heals for a very unique passive heal that heals for allies max HP. So what makes her really cool is if you put her on a team full of tanks, they actually heal for 10% of their max HP every single turn, which is actually really nice. And she has a 60% silence. It's not too good, but it's still, I would say it's not bad. It's not bad for PvP, because if you silence someone, they can't use their active skills. It kind of could screw them over sometimes, depending on the situation. She's a balance type monster, so there's a lot of ways you can gem her. A lot of people use her for attack, but I was thinking of building her full tank. You can go with a full attack build, like you can go with crit rate double attack. You can go with the bruiser build, HP attack defense. You can go with, you know, crit rate attack HP. You can go with crit rate double attack as well. But I was actually thinking of building her on double HP defense, just basically making her a 100% full tank, and throwing her on arena defense with a lot of like HP aggressors, just to make sure that HP aggressors heal. And she's actually going to be the tankiest one on the team, because my HP aggressors are going to be built with crit rate gems, you know. So people are forced to focus her because she's the one healing, but my HP aggressors are also doing very nice damage as well. So I was thinking that would be a really cool thing to try once I get her to Evo 3. I already have a very nice gem set on her, so I'm actually going to be trying her out very soon. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this video. Now, I kind of derailed off my original plan of going through like halfway. It kind of seems like we're going to have 2 more videos after this before I finish all the 4 stars, because I kind of really do go in depth. I talk about all the ways you can use the monsters and all the different ways you can gem those monsters. But we'll be continuing this series very soon, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.